The formula that we're going to use talks about the percent of a particular response. And how you get that is you take the number of times particular response occurs divided by the total number of responses. Okay? One of the products that I'm thinking of that they always kind of come up with is, as I'm sitting here chewing gum, one of the things that they do is, have you ever heard of Trident saying 4 out of 5 dentists prefer Trident over any other flavor or any other type of gum for you? Okay? Obviously, they had to have some kind of research behind that statement. Okay? Or way back when, they used to have product testing, like at the mall. All of a sudden, they had this big booth, and it was between Coke and Pepsi. And you had to decide which one you thought was which and all that other kind of stuff just to see. Especially back in the 80s when Coke came out with a new formula. Okay? So they had all kinds of that stuff does happen and does take place. Okay? And what you do is you take the number of times that somebody said Coke, for instance, divided by how many people that they surveyed. Okay? There's a game show that deals with this type of scenario. Family Feud. Don't they have 1 out of 100 people surveyed? How many people said this? They don't list them as percents, but that's what Family Feud's all about, isn't it? They say this type of vehicle, which is their most popular, 100 people surveyed responded to this question. But the only thing they didn't do is they didn't put it in percent format. Right? That's the premise or basis of Family Feud. Okay? So if you look at number 1 on page 553, number 1 says 1,800 out of 2,000 people surveyed own computers. What percent of the total surveyed own a computer? So you had 1,800 people out of 2,000. Bless you. So if I take 1,800 divided by 2,000, I'm going to get a decimal. What is that decimal? How much? 0.9. Which now, to making it into percent format, it needs to move 2 spots over. If I were to ask Derek, as I always do usually. Okay? So that means that 90% of the people own a computer. Does that seem realistic? Yep. And I think so. Me personally, I don't have a laptop computer anymore. I just have this thing. Okay, where I use my iPad or my iPhone. Okay? I don't even have a computer in my house anymore because of these. And because mine broke and I don't want to pay for it. Rather just buy a new iPad. Number 2, 460 out of 500 people surveyed like minty toothpaste. What percent of the people liked it? So how many people did they say got it? Or liked it? How many people said that they preferred it? 460. How many people did they survey? 500. What's 460 divided by 500? Okay, it comes out as 0.92, and if I move it 2 spots over, I get 92%. Okay? So you as a new product, if you were to ask this question out there, pose that question to what you want to sell, is 92% a good number? I would think so. If I had a product and I asked you guys and 92% of you said that you would buy it, I think I would probably be okay to go ahead with making it. So, are you guys okay with how this works? Now, be careful, just because of the wording, because I know that sometimes gets us. But what if they said on that question, what if they would have said 460 out of 500 prefer it, how many people don't? What if they would have had that? How many people don't prefer it? 40 out of the 500. And then you would have to take 40 divided by 500. Okay, so be very careful with what the numbers have and what the words say. If it says how many people prefer it, then it's how many you got divided by how many you surveyed. If it said how many people do not, then you'd have to subtract the two numbers and then take it and divide it by how many people you surveyed. So be very careful about what the words say, because the words will get you, obviously, on the test that I just had you guys correct. Okay? So anybody have any questions on how to calculate the percent? Okay, if not, it's on page 553, 1 through 9. It's not very many questions.